Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to show you step by step our exact days, macros, calories, protein and results that my one-to-one client Bethany has achieved during our 12-week transformation. So you definitely do not want to miss this one. Stick around. Now if you're new here, my name is Shannon from Shannon Billows Fitness and we talk about fat loss, gaining strength and gaining muscle in the most simple way possible. So if you're interested in those kind of videos, make sure you subscribe for videos just like that. Now we're going to have a look at Beth's stats and we're going to talk about exactly what she's achieved and how she's done it. So she's 25 years old, she's 170 centimeters tall, her starting weight was 74.5 kilograms, so about 164 pounds. Her weight at the end of her transformation was 66.6 kilograms and about 146 pounds. Now her main goal was to lose fat, build some muscle, which is what we're all about here. And also to note that Beth has her wedding coming up as well. So this was extra motivation for her to stick to the plan. Now her initial targets were 1,452 calories per day and a protein target of 118 grams per day. Now she was given a 3-day per week full body weight training program and this was at her gym, keeping steps as close to 5,000 a day as possible, but she was a sedentary desk worker, so anywhere from 5,000 or more is going to be ideal for most people. I don't really like personally having people below 5,000 steps. If you're below 5,000, get off your bum, get some exercise in, get some steps up. But if you're getting 5,000 or more already, you don't need to do any additional cardio. Now with 99% of my clients, we don't do any cardio to lose fat. And I'll repeat that again, you do not need to run or jog to lose fat. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, stick around because we're going to show you exactly how Beth did it. Now, over here, we've got Beth's very first starting photos. Now, when you do take photos, always try and make sure you take them in good lighting. So try and avoid outside lighting. So if you're in the sun taking your photos, the sun can differ in terms of intensity from day to day. So always try and use artificial lighting. If you can, try and always use the same clothing, so front, back and side. And even better yet, if you have someone who can do a video for you, make sure you get a video done as well. But photos are fantastic and I highly recommend everyone take a before photo. And then what we would usually do is assess these on a weekly basis. But because we do have 12 weeks, what we're going to do is we're going to do every 2 weeks and show you her photos, her progress and what she's achieved. All right, so getting straight into it, we're going to have a look at week 1 and week 2. As you can see, her calories were pretty much spot on. So she had 1,436 calories, 121 grams of protein. Her average body weight was 72.4 kilos and her waist measurement was 81 centimeters. Now with all my clients, we have 2 main areas that we focus on is your average body weight per week. So we take daily weigh-ins, divide it by 7, that gives us your average daily weigh-in. And we also measure once per week full body. The main measurement that we want to decrease is your waist measurement. Now, as you can see, moving into week 2, her calories are very close to what she achieved in week 1, so 1,489. Her protein was a little bit higher again on the 128 gram side. Her average body weight has gone down, so good for her, 71.4 kilograms. And her waist has also decreased down to 79 centimeters. Now you can also see her photos already starting to lean up just a tiny bit. So usually a lot of people will lose a lot of water weight and bloating in that first week, which is perfectly normal. And then a lot of people also lose a lot of weight quite fast in that first week. So the reason behind that is because people are usually eating higher carbs and more calories in general before they start coaching. And as soon as they reduce their calories, usually start to make better food choices, a little bit less carbohydrates and moreish type foods, and they'll usually shed a few kilos in just water and glycogen. So usually there's a big whoosh at the start, which is perfectly normal. So moving on to week 3 and week 4, we had slightly less calories this week, so 1,371 for week 3, 101 grams of protein, 71.6 kilograms for your body weight, average body weight per week, and the waist was down to 77.5. Now, this is where it becomes important to make sure that you take your weight and your waist measurements. Far too many times I've had so many people come up to me and they just tell me that their body weight isn't moving and they are going down in measurements, and that's perfectly fine. Our main goal is just to become physically a smaller person. It doesn't matter what the scale ends up at the end of the day. All we want to do is become physically smaller. So the smaller we get, the better it is. So as long as your waist is going down, you are losing body fat. So make sure you take your weekly measurements, especially your waist measurements. So as you can see, the average body weight was 71.6. So we actually went up a little bit, but our waist still came down. So week 4, 1,361 calories, 100 grams of protein, 70 kilos. So there we got the drop in the body weight, and the waist also came down to 76 centimeters. So on average, for every centimeter that you lose off your small waist is about a kilogram worth of fat loss. So even if the scale doesn't move, it doesn't matter. The main focus is that waist measurement. Now, having a look at Beth's starting photos to her week 4 photos, you can already start to see a difference, and especially directly in the middle abdomen towards the chest, you can already start to see a little bit of ab definition coming in. Now, people will see ab definition at different rates depending on how lean they are, their genetics and things like that. But awesome, we get to see some ab definition, which is definitely massively motivating, especially in the first only 3 to 4 weeks. Now we're having a look at week 5 and 6. So still on average, still on point with the calories, 1,358, 106.3 grams of protein. Average body weight was 70. So we didn't move from last week, but our waist came down, and that is the most important thing. So 75.5 centimeters. And then week 6, we're a little bit higher in the calories, 1,426 on average, 98 grams of protein, so just a little bit less than we ideally want it to be, but not too much. And then average body weight was 69.1, so we got our drop in body weight, and then 74 centimeters on the waist, which is huge. So our weekly waist measurements are going down almost every single week, even though there's been a bit of a pause in our body weight. Now, having a look at the photos, now you can definitely see, especially on the right photos on her back, she's starting to get a nice small waist. So the measurements are telling you exactly what's happening. So a lot of the body fat's starting to come off, a lot of water retention is gone, ab definition's even starting to come through more on her front photos, and she's starting to look really good. So, and this is only 6 weeks, this is only halfway. Week 7 and week 8, so we're still on the same calories, so 1,471, 105 grams of protein, 68.5 average body weight for the week, and 74 centimeters. Now, as you can tell from this week, the waist measurement didn't come down, but her average body weight still did. So this is still an indication that we're heading in the right direction. The only time that we would really classify someone as being in a quote unquote plateau, you would usually hit at least 2 weeks of no changes in their weight and no changes in their waist measurements. So as long as either or have gone down, we just keep going forward with exactly the same calories that we've always been following. And then week 8, we had 1,461 calories, so spot on with the calories every week, which is great. 112 grams of protein, average 68.9 average body weight for the week. So we didn't actually lose anything, we went up a bit, but lo and behold, we lost waist centimeters. So we went down to 73 centimeters, and that's on her small waist, which is fantastic. Now, having a look at Beth's photos, you can definitely see that her hip bones are starting to come through a little bit. So body fat's definitely coming down on the lower waist as well, which is fantastic. And the small waist is definitely coming in even more. And that just goes to show her measurements are showing exactly how her progress is going. Now moving on to week 9 and 10, so a little bit lower in calories, 1,350, 91 average protein, 68.6, so not too much change in the body weight. And then the waist measurement has gone up just a little bit. And then week 10, we have 1,303 calories, 113 grams of protein, average body weight was 67.4, so average body weight has gone down, which is great. And the waist measurement's also gone down as well. So we're still trending in the right direction. It may seem slow, but it definitely is going exactly where we want it to. Now having a look at Beth's photos again, so huge difference to where she started now. So usually most people will start to see a difference in their photos probably about week 5, maybe 6. But you'll really start to see a big visual difference around the week 6 to 7 mark. So now at week 10, you can really start to see a massive difference, especially in the waist. Hip bones definitely coming through, and the upper ab area as well. So ab definition's also starting to come through as well, which is fantastic. And then week 11 and then week 12. So this is where Beth was actually getting married. Now week 11 and week 12, we had 1,522 calories on week 11, 97 grams of protein average, 67.6 average body weight, and 73 for the waist. Now, the last week was a bit of a NA week, and that's mainly because this was the week leading up to Beth's wedding, which was exciting. So we didn't track any calories, didn't track any protein. By this point, she well and truly already knew exactly the meals that she should be aiming for. Her average body weight came down, so 66.8, and then 73 for the waist as well. So that was huge effort. So for 12 weeks, she lost 8 centimeters on her upper waist, which is equivalent to about 8 kilograms worth of fat loss, and her total body weight came down 5.6 kilograms. So even if the scale doesn't necessarily come down the 8 kilos, again, we would much rather someone be smaller or physically smaller by coming down in their measurements than only coming down in weight. And in a perfect world, we don't want the weight to change, but it will for most people. But if your weight stays the same, if you're already relatively lean, your weight stays the same, and your measurements keep coming down every week, that's perfect recomp. That means you're gaining muscle and you're losing fat at the same time. And that definitely can be done. So you can see that the weight hasn't come down as fast as her measurements, but she was weight training for the first time in a while. So she has gained a little bit of muscle, and that showed up exactly in her measurements. And it's as simple as that, guys. It just goes to show you that you don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to go through crazy fad diets. Just following a calorie counting approach using a very simple method, it works. I promise. I've been doing this for a long time. It works. Now, if you need a hand with one-to-one coaching, you can reach me at the details below, shannon@shannonbillowsfitness.com, and all the information is in the link section down below as well. So if you have any questions, or if you want to find out more about how Beth got her results, send me a message and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.